Ever feel like the world's changing faster than you can keep up?
It really does, doesn't it?
Today, we're diving into a topic that's practically exploding onto the scene: AI, with ChatGPT as our guide. And just so you know, this isn't some tech bro jargon fest.
Right. We're going deep with Professor Jose Ruiz Montes.
His book, Artificial Intelligence Revolution, Exploring with ChatGPT, uncovers how AI is impacting, well, everything.
It really is remarkable how AI is touching healthcare,
It's everywhere.
education, even the entertainment we consume. It's truly becoming integrated into the fabric of our lives.
Which is exactly why I'm so fascinated by it and maybe a little intimidated. But Professor Ruiz Montez's background is particularly interesting here. He's been teaching for almost 2 decades, but he also has experience in municipal government
Nice.
and the judiciary.
Interesting.
It's like he's seen AI's potential impact from every angle. Okay, so let's uncover the roots of this so-called AI revolution. Was there a single aha moment, or is this a slow burn?
It's more like seeds planted decades ago finally bearing fruit.
Okay.
Back in the 1950s, we saw those first algorithms being written. Think of them as the foundational code that paved the way for everything that followed.
So not quite robots taking over the world just yet.
Not quite. But there have definitely been milestones that captured the public's imagination.
Right.
Take 1997, when Deep Blue, that IBM chess computer, beat world champion Garry Kasparov. It was a wake-up call that AI wasn't just a science fiction fantasy. It could outperform humans in incredibly complex games.
Wow, I can only imagine the shockwaves that sent through the world of chess and beyond.
Absolutely. And that was just the beginning. Then came the 2000s and the explosion of deep learning. Suddenly, AI could analyze massive amounts of data, making connections humans could only dream of.
Okay, so more data equals smarter AI.
Yeah.
Where did things go from there?
2016 brought another pivotal moment, AlphaGo.
Okay.
This time, AI conquered the ancient game of Go, a game so complex that experts thought it was impossible for a computer to master. This victory demonstrated just how far AI had come and hinted at the incredible potential it held.
From early algorithms to mastering these mind-bogglingly complex games, that is revolutionary. But with all the AI tools popping up, why is ChatGPT in particular causing such a stir?
You've hit on a key point. It's not just about one tool. ChatGPT embodies a fundamental shift in how we interact with AI. It's becoming accessible to everyone, not just tech wizards. In fact, Professor Ruiz Montes talks about this extensively in his blog, highlighting how AI is moving from research labs to our everyday lives.
That's what I find so compelling, the potential for AI to be this tool we can all use and benefit from. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, what makes ChatGPT more than just another tech trend? What's the so what for our listeners?
That's the question we're going to unpack as we delve deeper into Professor Ruiz Montes's insights. Because understanding the why behind ChatGPT is essential to unlocking its true power.
Okay, so we're talking about ChatGPT's power, but to be honest, I still get a little lost in the weeds when it comes to the tech stuff. What's going on under the hood that makes it tick?
That's a great question, because once you grasp the basics, it's like a light bulb goes off.
Right.
At its core, AI relies on algorithms and models.
Okay.
Imagine a recipe that's your algorithm, a set of instructions. You follow it precisely, and voila, you get a cake. That's your model, the finished product.
I'm with you so far. But where does the data part come in? We hear that word a lot when AI is being discussed.
That's the fuel, my friend. Think of data as the ingredients in our baking analogy. The type and quality of data you feed the algorithm during training determines the kind of model you get. Just like the finest ingredients make the most delicious cake, high-quality data makes for a powerful and effective AI.
So that's why they say garbage in, garbage out when it comes to AI.
Precisely. Professor Ruiz Montes really hammers that home in his book. It's not just about having a lot of data. It's about having the right data. And that has huge implications for things like bias in AI, but that's a whole other conversation.
Duly noted. Now back to ChatGPT specifically. How does it fit into all of this?
ChatGPT is built on OpenAI's GPT models, which are basically super-powered learners that have been trained on an incredibly vast collection of text and code. Imagine a library larger than any you've ever seen, filled with books, articles, websites, and even code from software programs.
Okay, that's a lot of information, but how does it actually understand and respond to our questions?
Think of it like this. Every word, every punctuation mark, even every bit of code is broken down into smaller units called tokens. GPT models have an incredible capacity to process these tokens. And it's this massive capacity that allows ChatGPT to generate human-like text and engage in complex conversations.
So it's not just that the newer models are smarter, they can process and understand information on a whole other level. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is. And it's not just text anymore. We're starting to see multimodal AI, like GPT-4o, which can process not just text, but also images and audio. Professor Ruiz Montes even talks about using it to analyze medical images, which could be groundbreaking for healthcare.
Okay, now that you mention it, Professor Ruiz Montes does get into some really fascinating real-world applications in his book. Could you refresh my memory?
Absolutely. He dives into how ChatGPT can revolutionize education, especially when it comes to personalized learning. Imagine a student being able to ask ChatGPT to explain a complex concept in a way they understand, or a teacher being able to generate tailored lesson plans for each student's needs.
That's incredible. Personalized education has always been the holy grail, but actually achieving it has been the challenge.
And that's where AI tools like ChatGPT come in. They have the potential to make personalized learning a reality.
Wow.
And it's not just education. Professor Ruiz Montes talks about applications in business, like automating tasks, analyzing customer data, even generating creative content. He even gets into how it can be used in healthcare to assist doctors in diagnosing and treating patients.
That's a lot to process, but in a good way. It sounds like ChatGPT isn't just some abstract tech thing. It has the potential to impact our lives in tangible ways. But let's get practical. How can our listeners actually start using it?
That's the beauty of it. Getting started is easier than you might think. And Professor Ruiz Montes provides a clear, step-by-step guide for anyone who wants to jump in and start exploring.
All right, I'm officially intrigued. Let's move beyond the how it works and dive into the how to use it part of our deep dive.
Okay, you've convinced me. I want in on this ChatGPT action, but I'll admit I'm picturing lines of code and needing some kind of computer science degree to make it work. How plug and play is this thing, really? You'd be surprised. Professor Ruiz Montes lays out super clear steps anyone can follow, even if you've never touched an AI tool before. It's one of the things that makes ChatGPT so exciting. It's breaking down those barriers to entry.
So no secret handshake required. Just fire it up and go.
Pretty much. And what's even cooler is that there are so many ways to access it now. You've got the web version, of course, but they've also got a mobile app for both iOS and Android, so you can play around with it on your phone.
Oh, wow.
And get this, they recently launched a dedicated desktop app for Mac, which makes it even more integrated into your workflow.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. That's when it starts to feel less like a futuristic concept and more like something I can actually incorporate into my day-to-day.
Exactly. But here's the real game changer. Professor Ruiz Montes talks about mastering the art of the prompt. That's how you unlock the true magic of ChatGPT.
The prompts, you mean like what you type in?
Exactly. It's not just about typing anything. It's about crafting effective prompts that elicit the best responses from ChatGPT. Professor Ruiz Montes shares this brilliant optimized prompt formula in his book. In fact, why don't we try it out? Got anything in mind?
Let's do it. Let me think. I've always been fascinated by history, especially ancient civilizations.
Okay, I like it. We could ask ChatGPT to compare and contrast the social structures of, say, the ancient Egyptians and the Romans. Or maybe we could get really specific and ask it to write a short story from the perspective of a Roman soldier encountering Egyptian culture for the first time.
Ooh, a short story. I love that idea. Okay, so how would we phrase that as a prompt?
Let's see. We want to be clear and specific. We could say something like, write a short story from the perspective of a Roman soldier stationed in Egypt during the reign of Cleopatra. Focus on his experiences encountering Egyptian culture for the first time and how those encounters challenge his preconceived notions.
Wow, that's amazing. I can already picture ChatGPT generating all sorts of creative scenarios and dialogue. This is incredible. It's like having this incredibly versatile tool at your fingertips.
And the best part is, with well-crafted prompts, you can do so much. We're talking everything from writing different kinds of creative content to getting help with research to even generating ideas for that next big project.
Okay, that is seriously impressive. It's a little mind-blowing, honestly, to think about what this technology can do. And you know me, I always like to push the boundaries a bit. Does Professor Ruiz Montes cover any of the more advanced features of ChatGPT?
He certainly does. In fact, he dedicates a whole section to exploring ChatGPT Plus and its advanced capabilities, particularly the ability to create custom GPTs.
Custom GPTs. So you're saying I could potentially train my own AI assistant tailored to my specific needs?
Precisely. It's like having a personal AI apprentice that you can mold and shape to fit your unique workflow. Let's say you want an AI that specializes in, I don't know, crafting social media posts that perfectly capture your brand's voice. You can create a custom GPT for that. Or maybe you want one that helps you brainstorm plot ideas for your next screenplay. Boom, custom GPT. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
This is incredible. It feels like we're on the cusp of a whole new era. And I, for one, am incredibly excited to see where it leads. This deep dive has been eye-opening, to say the least. But as we wrap things up, I think it's important to acknowledge that every technological advancement comes with its own set of considerations, right?
Absolutely. While ChatGPT offers incredible opportunities, it's crucial to approach it with a critical and informed perspective. After all, understanding the full scope of its potential, both positive and nuanced, is crucial to harnessing its power responsibly and ethically.
Well said. And speaking of harnessing that power responsibly, that's where Professor Ruiz Montes' book really shines. He doesn't shy away from the bigger picture. He dives into the questions, the considerations, and even some of the potential challenges that come with this new AI-powered world we're entering.
Exactly. He provides a roadmap, if you will, for navigating this new landscape. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge, understanding, and a healthy dose of critical thinking as we integrate AI tools like ChatGPT into our lives.
So, for our listeners who are feeling inspired, intrigued, and maybe even a little bit curious after this deep dive, Professor Ruiz Montes' book is definitely worth checking out. Consider it your guidebook to the AI revolution, and who knows, maybe you'll even discover your own unique way to harness the power of ChatGPT.
Absolutely. The future of AI is being written as we speak, and it's up to all of us to shape it responsibly and ethically.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this: what will your role be in the AI revolution?